What's up, guys?
What's up?
Week 9 in the books. K-Onda, everybody. K-Onda, everybody.
K-Onda.
Hope everybody's doing well. It's week 9 in the books. We are the Well-Mannered Cartel. I am Tom.
I'm Mike.
I'm Marlon.
I'm Chris.
And let's get into the week 9 recap. Over easy 138. Vino Poppies 202. Vino Poppies eclipses 200 on the week and downs over easy for only her second loss of the year.
Yeah, that's a big win for Vino.
Yeah, over easy's team the last couple of weeks hasn't been performing too well. She's had some injuries. So yeah, she scored pretty low, man. 138. Vino scores 200. His squad's looking really, really good right now. Even with over easy, she had Kyler Murray who scored her 56 points practically. She didn't break 140.
Yeah. Chris Carson's been out for her. Kareem Hunt was on bye. Those are 2 point getters for her.
Yeah, I think last week I said I think one of the keys might be Tyler Lockett versus DK, whoever got more targets, and then DK ended up winning that matchup, but that really wasn't just the difference maker because it was a pretty thorough victory.
Derrick Henry underperformed for her, only got 6.8 points, 21 carries, 68 yards from Derrick Henry. Not what you're looking for there from him. He's kind of pulled off a little bit since having like a couple monster games.
It's like he didn't want to beat his former team.
It's so right.
Or he played the Chicago Bears defense. Could have been that.
And Josh Allen finally has a game like he did in the first 4 weeks of the season. He was getting 19 points, 18 points, 25 points, 12 points, and then 62 points against Seattle. That's what happens when you play against Seattle. I mean, one of the worst defenses in the league. When it comes to quarterbacks, at least, quarterbacks have just been going off on Seattle and advantage of that matchup. But yeah, man, Stephon Diggs got him 30, DK with 34. Those are kind of the standouts.
Claypool had a little bit of a better week than he had in the past couple weeks.
Right.
Yeah, he was targeted 8 times. 13 times, caught 8. So that's good for Claypool. My concern with Claypool is that he wasn't going to see targets when Deontay Johnson was in the squad. But I think they split around the same amount of receptions and targets at least.
Yeah. What do you think about Tyler Lockett? There's 2 games in a row where he's kind of played second fiddle to DK, and it's usually they were alternating there for a little bit, and now it's 2 games in a row. I don't. It might just be
It looks like DK might be the favorite there, man. He might have eclipsed him because I think before Lockett was still getting all of the targets. But if you look at it, he got 7 targets. DK got 9. So not terrible.
It's not terrible. It's just the production, I guess.
It looks like Metcalf is still the favorite, though.
Who do you think is going to get the number one corner on the opposing team? Because they've got some tough corners coming up.
We got to be Metcalf, man.
Yeah,
I was going to say
it has to be DK.
So Lockett,
he's just a freak.
So Lockett's probably going to be looking at a better week here next week because you got Jalen Ramsey, and then you got Peterson at Arizona, and then you got Darius Slay at the Eagles. Those are the next 3 matchups for the Seahawks. I agree with you guys. I think DK is going to get the number 1 corner. So Tyler Lockett's probably going to be, doing a little better here in the next 3 weeks, not having to get the shutdown corner on the opposite team. So, but yeah, man, that was only your second loss of the season. And Vino Poppy, man, he's got a couple wins in a row now and putting up some big scores.
Yep. That's over easy is now 7-2. Vino Poppy is now 5-4. He gets back to over 500. The next matchup is Lon Santo 108 versus the Fornicators, who scored 186 points. Marlon.
It was a terrible showing, man. What can I say? Once again, I was very, very unlucky. But I guess if I didn't have bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. So yeah, man. I mean, Chase Edmonds just got 11 or 12 points for me. Matt Ryan got 31 points, which was good. But other than that, dude, everybody was single digits.
Yeah.
Tim Patrick got 13 points, and DJ Dallas got very little points. But I expected more, honestly, against Buffalo.
I'm looking at Edmonds, dude. So if you get a running back that's getting that volume, you're expecting a little bit more, out of him. But Miami's defense has been sneaky good this year.
Yeah, definitely. So it caught me off guard. And for Adrian's team, I mean, Mahomes got him 50 points.
The big surprise on DeFornicators is Christian Kirk, man, 36.
For sure.
Yeah,
36.
I think DeAndre Hopkins only had three receptions this week, which has been his lowest in like years.
Good on him for starting Christian Kirk. I mean, against the Dolphins, like you said, that's not an easy defense. They've been coming around lately, and they've definitely gotten better. So that's not an easy matchup. And he went ahead and started Christian Kirk, and it paid off for him for sure. So, kudos to him for that. And then Brandon Cooks,
points. 20. Jimmy Graham had a good week too.
Jimmy Graham, dude, 17.5 points from the tight end position. Man, Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, it's like vintage Jimmy.
Doing it still. Yeah.
Yeah, so overall was disappointing, but at this point, I was kind of like, all right,
Yeah.
So you can still spoil seasons, man. You can still spoil seasons, Mark. Quick, dude.
Spoil them
for the upset.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're expecting more from James Conner out of the Fornicators' squad. He only had 4 points, which is wild against a Dallas defense that's been struggling all year.
The worst run defense, I think, in the league. And, for him to only get 4 points, that's a missed opportunity there. But, I mean, it didn't come back and bite him. It didn't come back and bite him this week.
I watched that Cowboys game, and, man, the Cowboys were looking really solid against Pittsburgh. Or maybe Pittsburgh was just looking that bad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Shit.
But
Garrett Gilbert looked like Joe Montana, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Joe Montana.
Yeah, dude. His running backs did okay. Josh Jacobs, 13.8, and Gibson had 11.5. I actually tried to trade with him, a running back. It didn't work out. So he's like, I like my running backs. I was like, I don't blame you, dude. Stay rolling with them. That said, Colon Santo is now 2-7. The Fornicators 4-5, so he's creeping back up. Next matchup we're looking at is the Bad Hombres 172, Bangkok Ladyboys 199.
Yeah,
Chris.
Man. It was the Aaron Rodgers and Dalvin Cook show, man. 50 from Aaron Rodgers, 62 from Dalvin Cook. I mean,
over 100 between them.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, and I only lost by 20. So I mean, it's kind of hard to overcome that.
Bro, if he would have taken your advice, he would have beaten you with the quarterback situation because Tom Brady scored negative.
I know,
like 64 on his bench.
He hit me up and he was like, because he was like, he asked me for my thoughts on a trade that you did with him, and he was like, oh man, who do you think won this trade or whatever. And so I was going back and forth with him and stuff, and I was like, well, Tom can start Will Fuller this week, so this week he's gonna win the trade, but in the long haul, I like CEH. I think he's gonna bounce back. I think his schedule is easier, so it's kind of one of those win-win things. But I mean, I was giving him my opinion on it. I was like, I think in the long term, you're probably gonna win this trade. And he was like, oh man, well, I trust your input or whatever, but even though you were you gave me the wrong advice last week, and I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't predict Tom Brady's worst fucking game of his career. You know what I mean? My bad, bro. That was literally one of Tom Brady's worst fucking games, man. I know, what do you have, -6 points or something, or -5 points?
Negative, yeah.
-0.6. Sorry, -0.6 points. I mean, that's wild, dude. That's insane. So yeah, he made the right choice. He listened to you, Tom. He fucking started Aaron Rodgers, and it paid off for him.
Dude, imagine how pissed he would have been if he had taken your advice.
All right. I mean, if you look at the rest of his team, though, it was Rodgers, Dalvin Cook, and Will Fuller, and that's what did it. DeAndre Hopkins only got him 6 points. Mark Andrews 5, Phillip Lindsay 2, Leonard Fournette got 10, Koo the kicker got 12, the Dolphins D got 10. I mean, it was basically just top heavy with those three guys.
Yeah.
And it's hard to be upset when your team is putting up a good score and you're just going up against guys that are putting up 200. You know what I mean? Like, or 198.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I mean, Russell Wilson had a decent game. I mean, he had a bunch of turnovers, like 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles, I think. So that kind of like hampered his scoring a little bit. And then, Zeke has not been himself in the last couple of weeks with the O-line being kind of decimated there with the Cowboys and the game scripts. And then Ronald Jones, man, just being stuck in that damn, splitting the backfield with Leonard Fournette. That's been such a downer for Ronald Jones. The fact that he has to split carries with Leonard Fournette, every single game going forward now. So, yeah, man, it was. I'm not mad at the score, but I'm mad at the outcome. You know what I mean? It's that's 2 L's, 2 hard L's in a row for me. So I need to definitely pick it up next week or this week coming up.
Yeah, definitely the highest scoring game in the league. Chris, you probably would have beaten, I think, everybody else except for Jose.
I think
and Peaky
the Fornicators, man. It was a high scoring week. There was 3 teams that scored higher than me. I think it was Peaky, Jose, and the Fornicators. I mean, it was a pretty high scoring week.
I was like 2 or 3 points behind you. So, I mean, that's pretty, like, for teams to be hitting like around 170 and higher when you have more than, 2 or 3 teams doing that, that's pretty high scoring week.
For sure.
But, I mean, Kelsey's killing it, and his schedule is getting easier. I said the difference maker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. But I said the difference maker in this matchup was going to be Kelsey and Mark Andrews wasn't going to be a factor, and that turned out to be true. It's just, Aaron Rodgers putting 50 and Dalvin Cook putting 62. That's it.
Yeah, you can't predict a 62-point game from Dalvin Cook. You know what I mean? Like that's fucking.
You can't plan and prepare for that.
Even against the Detroit defense, who hasn't been very good, you can't. There's no way a 60 points from a running back.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like if Rodgers gets 40 and Dalvin Cook gets 40 or 30, like those are still badass games from those 2 guys. But fucking Boo loses. You know what I'm saying? But Boo loses in that scenario. Aaron Rodgers got 50, Dalvin Cook got 62. Like shit, you can't. It's hard to overcome that shit. So man, but kudos to the Lady Boys. He's bounced back. I think he had a little bit of a rough patch, but this is 2 wins in a row now for him, and he's the clear number 1 in his division at the moment.
Yeah, that's Lady Boys is now 7-2. Bad Hombres 6-3 on the year. The following matchup is Dem Lions 153, Flint Tropics 161. Flint Tropics gets Christian McCaffrey back, and it helps him out tremendously. However, he's injured again. So right when Flint Tropics has that little glimmer of hope, it kind of just shuts immediately.
And we said it. I mean, we said McCaffrey was going to be the difference maker. McCaffrey was going to put him over the top, and sure enough, he did. This was the closest game of the week, and McCaffrey getting 37 points to DeAndre Swift's 12, the opposite running back for them Lions. I mean, that's the difference maker right there. Adam Thielen had a below game for them Lions with only 5.8 points. DJ Moore with 3. I mean, he had a couple of underperformers, but on Flint Tropics side, it was McCaffrey. I mean, Tannehill had an average game, 21 points. You expect more from Tannehill, but Scary Terry with 37, dude. I mean, I think we've all been kind of fans of Scary Terry here lately, and he's been 37 points. I mean, what more do you want from that guy? 150 yards and a touchdown.
Evan Ingram also had he had a really good week.
Yeah. That was that.
And then Titans defense also with 16 points.
Oh yeah, I didn't even look at that. But the defense with 14, kind of balance each other out there.
Yeah, I mean, Dem Lions, the squad is not too bad. I think once he gets Miles Sanders back, he's going to be a lot better. But yeah, man, Thielen disappointing. I think the Vikings passing game right now just is non-existent because Dalvin Cook's just shredding defenses. So you don't really have to throw it at all. And DJ Moore disappointing again. he keeps telling me, he's like, man, I regret trading you Julio for DJ Moore so bad. I was like, sorry, dude.
I keep telling you, he got me with the trade last year, and then he got with the trade this year. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that one trade, man, will completely change the course of your fucking season. And it could a 1-for-1, a 1-for-1, a receiver for a receiver. But I mean, it completely changed both of your trajectories this season.
Yeah, well, I gave him Cam Akers and
that's right.
And he gave me Noah Fant. He gave me like I won on that trade now, in hindsight. I thought it was just
fun, but yeah, you're right. I forgot you gave.
Well, it started off 1-for-1. I was like, hey man, so what are you thinking about Julio now? And he's like, you know what, I'll deal him if you give me DJ Moore. And then he's like, what do you think about giving me Cam Akers? And I was like, okay, well then you throw in, you know how that goes, right?
Yeah.
So that's how it started. But yeah, it started off 1-for-1, but yeah, definitely changed our seasons. He's still in the hunt though. He's 5-4, but we got two other teams that are 5-4 in the division now.
Yeah.
The Denver Lions 5-4 now. Flint Tropics 5-4 as well, second in his division. The next matchup, LVU Las Vegas United 169, crossfaded 116.
Solid win there.
Yeah, it's a good win, man. Herbert doing his thing again. He's playing just very consistently good every week. Edwards-Helaire 12.4. Julio Jones had an underwhelming performance by his standards, 16.4, and Devontae Adams, man, 44.3. Deontay Johnson, 15. But yeah, for him, I think Lamar Jackson only had 18 points. Kamara, 15.9. Evans only had 10. Antonio Brown coming into that squad's gonna, take a few targets away from him. He now really, really well with 35. But yeah, man, I mean, I don't really. I mean, my IDP, Darius Leonard, got me 18 points. So I mean.
Yeah,
bro. You know what I learned? You know what I learned this week that I didn't know? If your IDP scores a touchdown, you don't get credit for it. The defense gets credit for it. Yeah, because my IDP scored a touchdown. My IDP scored a touchdown, and he got an interception. He got credited for the interception, and then he scored a touchdown. It was a pick six, but he didn't get the 6 points for the touchdown. And I was like, what the? Like, I had no idea. Like, I mean, luckily it didn't make the difference. Like, I would have lost anyway. But I was looking at his score, and I was like, fuck, his score should be higher. This motherfucker scored a touchdown. And when I click on his, like, you know how you can click on the score and it'll tell you the breakdown?
Yeah.
There wasn't a section for touchdowns. And I was like, damn, I guess they just give it to the defense. Like, the defense gets credit for the touchdown, but not the individual player. I was like, man, I had no idea.
Yeah, I would assume that he would get the points also.
Might have to look into that for next season.
Yeah, but like I said, it didn't make a difference, and that's fine. I'm glad it didn't, because I'd be fucking raising hell. Luckily, I got smoked by 20.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how often are you looking to the IDP, right, to be the difference maker? Like, oh man, my IDP fucking
saves the game.
Yeah. Crossfaded, man, not looking too hot. Getting into the juice of the season. He's falling behind a little bit, especially in the division.
Hey, coming from the guy who drafted Lamar as the second quarterback overall, what do you guys think he'll go next season? Like top 10? Do you think he'll be a top 10 quarterback next season?
Man, I don't know. I mean, he's probably going to least.
Definitely not top 5, but. Yeah, I think top 10 is probably realistic.
Maybe somebody will take a swing at it. You know what I mean?
I never bought into the Lamar Jackson hype in terms of like him being just like a bona fide quarterback. He just seemed really like a running back, right? Like he just gets the ball and he runs. And last year teams couldn't stop it. This year they can, and he can't throw the ball. I think for fantasy purposes he'll still be a top 10 quarterback just because he runs the ball. But if I'm a franchise, I'm not. He doesn't really look like a long-term solution at QB.
Yeah, he's not elite like Flacco.
Well, Flacco can throw the ball downfield, so
he's elite in that regard.
So Las Vegas is 5-4. Crossfaded falls to 3-6. That was a brotherly matchup. You hate to beat down on your little brother. But hey, you got to do it.
You've been doing it all your life, so you might as well keep it rolling.
Yep. And the last matchup we're looking at is Peaky Blindside, 190 to Gridiron Throne, 123. Mike.
Hey, here we are again.
Different week.
Here we are again. Hey, luckily the fact that I didn't switch Ayuk out wasn't the difference maker, because I would have been really upset about that. But hey, I lost as has been consistent this season. So, hey.
Dude, Jerry Jeudy having a fucking game, bro. 36 points. Where the hell did that come from? You know, I feel like he's been, not getting 36 points every week. And he just has, he balls out against Atlanta, which I guess is understandable because, Atlanta's been kind of known for high scoring or being involved in high scoring games. And then Tyreek Hill having the best game of his
season. He had a game.
43 points.
I said last week that he wasn't going to have, that I didn't think he was going to have a big game.
Yeah.
Boy, was I wrong.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. And yeah, man, that was kind of, the meat of it. I guess his IDP also got him 18 points. That's a big score from the IDP. And then the Ravens with 15. The Ravens defense, 15 points.
Yeah, I just don't have the receivers to to explode, to get me like more than like 20 points,
Right.
Like I consistently have, single digits or like, the teens. So hey, when you don't have the best receivers in fantasy football, you're not going to win.
PPR league, PPR league for sure.
PPR league.
Yeah.
It's there's a premium on receivers, so.
True.
Yep. So Peaky Blindside gets another dub. He's now 4-5. Gridiron Throne also 1-8 on the year. Let's have a look at the standings now. The Earth Division. We were talking about it. I think before we started recording. Tightest division. Tightest division in the league, man. It's like we got 3 5-4 teams and 1 4-5 team. And that 4-5 team is pretty solid. Vino Poppy's at the top right now, 5-4, 1427.14 points scored. Then I'm right behind him, LVU, 5-4, 1278.82 points scored. Dem Lions also 5-4, 1262.56 points scored. And then DeFornicators 4-5, 1364.98 points scored. So, dude, this one is, man,
tight.
It sucks because I lost to everybody the first round, the first one. We're about to have
a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Damn.
So, yeah, man, you lose a game and you're definitely set back.
Yeah, those division matchups are going to be key.
Yeah, man. I mean, it might come down, like if you beat everybody, it's going to come down to points scored, right? I think that's the second tiebreaker. Is points scored, so that's going to be important. And at the end of the season, it could be, especially like, and then you also start thinking about the people that you lost outside of the division that might be in that 5 or 6 spot, and then you're like, damn, and how many points did they score? Like, we're gonna have to start doing some fucking math here, boys, pretty soon. Try to figure this shit out.
Dude. I still think it's gonna be 2 teams out of this division for sure. Just looking at the 2 bottom teams from the other division.
Yeah. We can't project a winner of the Earth Division.
You can't.
Right now.
You can't.
It's too soon to call. Too soon to call.
Let's stop the count in the Earth Division, but let's continue counting in the Fire Division.
Holy shit!
Whatever. We don't like politics. The win division, win division, top of the chart is Over Easy. She's 7-2, 1442.6 points scored. Bad Hombre's right behind her, 6-3, 1590.76 points scored. Then the Peaky Blindside, 4-5, 1448.2 points scored. Which you're talking about, like you're looking at teams that you played outside of the division you lost to. This is a big one for him and myself. We played this week, and so this is big as well. Like if he loses, he's back 2 games,
Yeah.
And then Crossfaded 3-6 in 4th place in that division, 1319.72 points scored. Pretty good division. This division was the heavy hitter, at the beginning of the year, but then now you have 2 clear-cut favorites coming out of that division. So yeah, man.
For now, let's hope it stays that way. I'm on a slide right now. I'm on a 2-game slide.
Well, you faced Mike this week, Chris, so
let's hope. Hey, man. It can happen. It can fucking happen.
The Fire division, Bangkok Lady Boys, like we talked about, has been doing pretty well after that 2-game losing streak a few weeks ago. He's 7-2, 15, 82.34 points scored. Then the Flint Tropics, 5-4, 13, 76.16 points scored, but he loses McCaffrey for at least a week.
Yeah,
at least. Then Monsanto 2-7, 1282.06 points scored, and Gridiron Throne 1-8, 1177.4 points scored. So it's getting good, boys. It's getting good.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Who the fuck is that guy? And I don't even know if I'm saying this dude's fucking name right. I don't know if it's fucking Ricky or if it's Richie or if it's Richard, but I've got Richie James Jr., 9 catches, 184 yards, 1 touchdown, wide receiver for the 49ers. And he got almost 49 points, 48.4 points.
Yeah.
Man, where the fuck did that guy come from? 184 yards in the touchdown. That's a big boy score, 48.4 points. The squander of the week. This one was hard, man. There wasn't really anybody that screwed up too bad, but I'm going to go with them Lions just because it was the closest score. But I really don't have a good explanation for it. It's just it was a big game. I think he was in second place, Tom, or in first place before this game?
He was in first.
He was in first place. So this is that, after this loss, the closest loss of the week, lost by, I don't know, 8 points, and it moved him from first place in the division to third.
Yeah.
And for that reason,
that's where we're at right now.
And for that fucking reason, he's got to be the squanderer this week. I mean, there's nobody on the bench that he left there that could have saved him this week. But the fact that you lose by 8 and you go from first to third in that tight division where every fucking game matters from this point forward.
That's squandering to me.
That's squandering to me, amigo. The bed shitters of the week. We're going to start with Big Bob Rob Tanyan. 1 catch, 5 yards. Tell me, Marlon. 1.5 points. He had that one big game. You had, so much hope in Robert Tanyan, and he's not been performing lately.
I did some research. I put all the data into the computer.
The analytics.
Crunch the numbers.
Yeah.
And his performance was directly tied to when Devontae Adams got injured. When he was out, he just flourished. And it was a string of a few games where he was hitting those numbers. He had that one monster game, but ever since then, as long as Devontae Adams is healthy, I mean,
it's not looking good.
No, they're not looking. They're not looking at him.
Yeah, that's some analysis right there.
There you go. I like that. James Conner also shit the bed. 4 points. We talked about this. You expect more from the starting. Definitely when they're going up against one of the worst, if not the worst, run defense in the league, the Dallas Cowboys, only got 4 points. And then honorable mention, DeAndre Hopkins only got 6 points, 3 catches, 30 yards, but he's fucking D-Hop, man. You expect more than 6 points from D-Hop, and he shit the bed. He sharted the bed. Let's not say shit. He sharted the bed a little bit this week.
He let out a wet one.
a little wet one, unexpectedly. The no talent pussy of the week, Culon Santo. Not at least you broke 100, bro. You got 3 digits there, but 107.76.
Back-to-back champ. Back-to-back champ.
Dude, 2 bad weeks at the same damn time, dude. You got fucking 2 weeks in a row, the no talent pussy. And I don't think that's happened this week, right? Or this year, right? This season. I think this is the first repeat. If I'm not mistaken.
We've had repeats, but not back to back.
Not back to back.
Not back to back. Not back to back.
Back to back champion right here.
Going for the triple crown this week, boy. Going for the triple crown. And let's pour them out. We got a couple. Obviously, Kyle Allen, quarterback for the Red Washington football team. Dude, the New York Giants, man, they're the ankle snatchers. First Dak, right? It's his ankle completely broken off. And now Kyle Allen with the dislocated ankle. He got dacked. Not as bad as Dak, but it looked pretty ugly. So Kyle Allen, we're gonna take one for you.
Right.
And then we talked about it. Christian McCaffrey coming back from a long layoff from injury, and I think it was the last series of the game. He injures his shoulder, and Tom, I know you were talking about him possibly only being out for about a week, but I heard recently, within the last, couple hours, that he's going to get a second opinion on his shoulder, and that if he was only going to be ruled out for a week, you wouldn't go and get a second opinion. And so they're thinking that maybe it's a more serious injury that might keep him out longer. We're hoping that's not the case because, we're all fans of awesome running backs like Christian McCaffrey, but
yeah,
to be determined if we see him at any other point this season. I mean, that could be it for Christian McCaffrey. I hope it's not, but
yeah.
I mean, he's getting a second opinion, and so it's not looking good for the moment. So
yeah,
he came back and he had a great game. He had a great game and pretty much single-handedly got Flint Tropics to win, but back on the time being.
He shouldn't have done that GQ photo shoot before the season, man.
The GQ curse is real or what? It's gonna be a thing now. And finally, the big cock on the block, Vino Poppy, man, 202 points, huge score.
He's back to Vino Poppy now.
We can't say the PPs this week.
PPs, not the pap smear. He's back to being Poppy. And
maybe he is the Vino PPs.
The big PPs.
Yeah, it's better than Vino Mommy.
Yeah, we'll ask him what he wants to be called, and for this week at least, we'll call him that. So that's it.
Sweet. Let's have a look at the Week 10 matchups and get for some pretty important games here, games with implications for playoffs. First one is Las Vegas United, who's 5-4 against Peaky Blindside, who's 4-5. This is my game.
Yeah.
I was dealing with some key buys this week. Julio's out and CEH was out. I ended up dealing CEH away for some receivers.
Talk about that a little bit, because to be honest with you, man, I was looking at your squads before the trade and I was like, I think Peaky can pull this off. But after you made that trade and got CEH out of there on a buy, and you got Will Fuller in return with a couple other guys, obviously, in the mix there. Yeah. I mean, I think that put you overboard and is going to get you the week this week, because it was looking a little sketchy before that trade. It really was.
Yeah. Dude, I was looking into it. I wasn't shopping CEH, but I was seeing what people were willing to give up for him. Right now, I think he's performing at a RB2 and he's on a bye, and I really need these wins right now, right? I need to keep stringing them along. Yeah. And I just, some guys like to draft to zero RB, right? They don't like to draft running back till late, and they just pick up as many receivers. I feel maybe I'm doing like the trading version of that, right? I'm just loading up on wide receivers. I like Will Fuller. His schedule gets a little bit tougher towards the end, but I think, he's Deshaun's main guy. They're going to have to throw a lot because they can't run the ball. So I felt like, Fuller's floor is safe. And then I got Fulgham as well, which I really, really like. Carson Wentz is the number one receiver as well. I gave up T. Higgins. I didn't want to give up T. Higgins. I think T. Higgins is going to be good in the back. In the last few games, he has a great schedule. Yeah. But in order to get Fuller, I had to give up Higgins, who really, really was insistent on that. So, and then, Devontae Parker, he was just a filler, as well as who did I give him? Who I can't remember. The last guy in the trade.
DJ Moore.
No,
was it Chark?
Chark. It was Chark.
Oh, DJ.
Yeah, Chark. Yeah. Yes, one of the DJs. The other DJ.
Fucking DJ. Yeah.
Chark's just very inconsistent. Jaguars, I can't trust him, so I was like, okay, I'll give you Chark too. But yeah, like I said, I'm just going with the best receiver core that I can possibly get, and I'm just going to start another RB2. I got Montgomery. I traded for who did I trade for?
Indianapolis Colts.
Escapes me.
Taylor,
yeah, Jonathan Taylor. I traded crossfaded Jonathan Taylor. he hasn't been too exciting the last couple of weeks, but he has a really good schedule. Going into the playoffs, if I make it, I do think that he's still the main guy there. It's a bit of a committee, but the way I see it is Clyde Edwards-Helaire has a higher ceiling than these guys, but these guys' floor is around the same. So I'm okay. I'm gambling there. I'm just hoping those receivers pull it out. With that being said, I think those two receivers are going to help me this week, hopefully. But I'm still going. I'm all in on Peaky Blindside, bro.
All in, baby. All in.
Hey, it's working for you so far.
He got fortunate with the McCaffrey injury because now he has Davis again.
And now
that's
Davis
help
is
him
relevant again. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I'm gonna go with you, Tom, with Las Vegas United. Like I said before the trade, I was leaning Peaky. I thought he's been on a roll. He's been putting up big points, big scores. But after you made that trade and you addressed that issue, getting CEH out of there and getting Will Fuller in your starting lineup, I think that's going to get you over the hump and is going to bring you the victory. And I'm rooting for your brother because Peaky Blindside's in my division and he's right behind me, so I need him to stay a couple of games
bringing some wins. Yeah, I mean he's not in my division, but I need him to lose as well. He's a 4-5 team. I'm a 5-4 team, and so these are the big games right here.
They are.
Yeah, looking at both rosters, man, it looks like it's a pretty even matchup this week. It doesn't look like either of you guys are clearly favored over the other. But I think he has a couple more question marks on his team than you do. So for that reason, I'll pick you this week, Tom.
I want to pick you as well, Tom, for this week. I mean, Devontae Adams is probably going to go off again.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, he probably will.
Jacksonville.
And anytime Deshaun passes to Will Fuller, you're going to get some points there too. So.
And my son's going to sleep, so I got to give him a good night kiss.
Oh,
bro.
Little guy. Say hi to
the little bro.
The little bro. Hey, buddy. Bro. What's up, dude? Oh. Hands out of your mouth. Hands out of your mouth.
Who's his pick? Who's his pick this week?
I'm not. Dude, you know what? With this game, this is probably, I mean, if you think about it, this is probably like the most important matchup so far of the season, as far as like two teams that are like right in the thick of shit, right in the middle of it. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be a nail biter, dude. This is going to be a stressful one. I think you're going to pull it out, Tom, but fuck, man. This is going to be one of those where like you're going to be afraid to look at your phone for a little bit. You're like, should I check the score? Oh, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? It's going to be a nail biter.
It's one of those where you tell yourself, like, I'm not going to look at my phone. And then you're just like every fucking 5 minutes, like, God, refresh.
Yeah.
You
know, what's funny is even though you're a game ahead of him, I think this win is a little bit more valuable to you just because your division is so much more competitive.
Yeah,
for sure. I think it's equally it's important to him too, because he's going to fall 2 games back, and if he's around, because at that point he's not going to win his division, so he's fighting for a wild card spot. So he's going to have every win's important to him. I mean, I'm not saying they're both important, is what I'm getting.
Because it is possible to have 3 teams from the same division get in the playoffs, like one. You know what I mean? Because it's just didn't
that happen like a couple years ago or something?
I don't remember, man. I don't remember. It was because I was already out of the playoff race, so I wasn't even paying attention.
Maybe not, though, because this is only our second year with 3 divisions, so maybe not. Maybe I just dreamt about it or something. But I'm without Julio Jones. It's okay because he's without Tyreek Hill. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I think it's going to be a very, very close one. But huge implications with this one. The next match we're looking at is Over Easy, who's 7-2, versus Dem Lions, who's 5-4. Over Easy, I don't think she's set her lineup yet. She still has Hayden Hurst, who's on a bye in there. I think she's going to be looking a little bit better this week compared to the last couple of weeks. She's getting Kareem Hunt, and I think Chris Carson's going to play this week. So those are like
I heard that Chris Carson's like he's like on track to play this week. So if he does come back, that he could be a huge difference maker for her. And on the other side, I mean, if you look at them Lions' team, like he's got like a pretty good team, but it's just like Juju Smith-Schuster, he's been hot and cold. Adam Thielen, the same thing. Like Dude, if you catch them Lions on a good day, you're gonna beat him. But if he's on his, if his guys are on their fucking A game,
Yeah.
he can put up a big score. So this one's going to be interesting. I'm leaning over easy as much as I fucking don't want to. I think he's going to win it. Tyler Lockett's got, the Rams. That's not an easy matchup, but I think we just touched on it earlier. DK's going to be, he's going to get Jalen Ramsey. You know what I mean? And so I think Russell Wilson's going to look towards Lockett's way a lot more often.
Yeah.
I don't think Derrick Henry's going to have 2 bad games in a row. I mean, I know you have a decent defense over there in Indianapolis, Mike, your favorite team, the Colts. I mean, how do you think they're going to do against Derrick Henry?
It's Derrick Henry. I think he's ran over them before, so I think he won't have a monster week, but he's not going to have a bad week by any means.
Same. I think Derrick Henry. He's not going to score. He's not going to only score 6.8 points again. I see him maybe like 12 to 15. Dude, I don't really see him because Indy's no joke.
Yeah.
And he's got another tough matchup too.
Kyler against Buffalo. That's going to be a huge score for her, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Haley will get back into the win column this week. She's only lost 2 games this season.
The more I'm looking at it, though, the more, like Chris said, I think it's going to be close. I have to pick over easy because I have to every week. But it looks close, man. If Miles Sanders plays, do you guys know he's playing this week? That's
I don't know yet. No,
he's going up against the Giants.
Fuck, man. That's going to be you're right, man. That could be the difference maker right there. I haven't really heard much. I know he's questionable, but I haven't heard much about him playing or not.
Well, it looks like he practiced.
I just clicked on his profile here, and it says that it looks like he's ready to return in week 10. That's what, according to the sleeper app. I don't know. According to the sleeper app, if that's true, you're right. It might be a little closer, but I'm still going to give it to over easy.
Yeah, his receivers, like you said, Thielen has Chicago, not great for Thielen, and then DJ Moore's going up against Tampa Bay, also not a good matchup. And DJ Moore's kind of been trending downward in terms of fantasy points the last few weeks. So I'm going over easy.
Marlon?
I'm going over easy as well. Yeah, I think Kyler Murray's going to have a really good game. And while Derrick Henry's doesn't have an easy matchup by any stretch of the imagination, he's not gonna have a shitty game like he did last week. And she's got Kareem Hunt, which should be a good matchup as well, and Chris Carson if he comes back.
The only thing with the thing though is that Nick Chubb is scheduled to come back this week. And so what's that split going to be like? I think Kareem Hunt's still probably going to get the majority of the carries. I think they're going to ease Nick Chubb in. But you never know, man. And the Houston, and it's going to be whoever gets the boatload of those carries it's going to be, they're going to have a great game because Houston's run defense hasn't been that great this season.
Custodians.
Yeah, custodians.
Yeah, dude. But Kareem Hunt and Chubb, I think Kareem Hunt's numbers were better when Chubb was playing and he was getting, less of the workload because he was, specialized, right, in the passing and stuff like that. So I think they can both be, like you said, very productive, especially against Houston. But yeah, this game, dude, is another really, really important one for them Lions, of course, and then for over easy, man, because Bad Hombres, Chris, you're right behind her. And so, like, you guys might be fighting for, like, a bye in the first week of the playoffs, and that's huge. You don't have to play. You don't have to worry about losing, right?
Yeah.
So it's huge for both teams.
Yeah, and I know, like, I'm going to be rooting hard, obviously, for them Lions, but I'm making my pick with my head and not my heart, and I think Reese going to take it. But man, I am going to be looking at this game, and I think you are too, obviously, Tom, because them Lions is in your division. So I'm going to be keeping a close eye on this game all weekend.
If my wife does not win, I will be very disappointed.
Huge game.
Yeah, so over easy, Dem Lions, big matchup. The next game we're looking at is the Bad Hombres, 6-3 versus the Gridiron Throne, 1-8, 2 of our very own Mike and Chris. How do y'all feel?
Well, I haven't set my lineup yet, so I'm still waiting a little. I still have Zeke, and here's the reason why. Because on the sleeper app, Nick Chubb still has an IR designation, but everything that I've been reading is looking like he's going to get the start in week 10. I don't want to make the move yet to put him in the starting lineup because then I have to drop somebody since he's coming off of IR. So I don't want to make that move just yet because I'm still thinking about who I'm going to drop. But yeah. So you can expect Nick Chubb to be in the lineup for Zeke, and then I have a decision to make. Not a good decision, but Ronald Jones. I've been upset with his usage with the Bucks in the last couple of weeks. So David Johnson got a concussion. It doesn't look like he's going to be in the game this week. So I picked up Duke Johnson because he did get a lot of carries coming in for David Johnson, and I'm hoping and praying that he falls into the end zone. And I might start Duke Johnson over Ronald Jones because I know Duke Johnson's probably not going to split the carries. I mean, I don't know who's behind Duke Johnson, but I think he's going to get the carries.
I was actually looking at Duke for this week, man. I think it would have helped me out a lot, but you were up on the waiver list. Yeah, dude, if David Johnson doesn't play, I don't think he is. Duke Johnson's going to be the guy, and he should have at least 20 carries, so he should be able
he might get 20 carries for fucking 30 yards, but the opportunity is what I'm going for here because I don't think Ronald Jones is going to fucking get anywhere near 20 carries, so I'm probably going to lean that way. And then in the tight end position, I might be starting Everett. I might be starting somebody else. I don't want to give too much away, Mike. but yeah, and then the X factor here is for me. And then I'll let you go after this, Mike, because I know I'm sucking a lot of air over here. Kenny G, man, it's so weird. Not a lot of information on his injury. I think I talked about this last week. There's some speculation about his contract situation. And then you start to think about, well, I know, Tom, you mentioned something about him maybe being gone for 3 or 4 weeks, but then it's like, if that was injury related, wouldn't he go on IR? Because that's a minimum of 3 weeks. But then it's like, well, does the team need to make a roster move? Maybe not. So they don't need to put him on IR. It's just a huge question mark. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't. I'm just hoping that he's back by next week. And if he's back this week, it's a fucking bonus. So I'm just going to keep my eye on Kenny G. And hopefully he does come back sooner rather than later. But Mike, I mean, dude, I look at your team and it's got names on there, man. You got some names on that side. Burrow's been doing great. How's Jarvis Landry gonna look without Odell Beckham? And the first game without a fucking windstorm going on? Because I know he had that windy game last 2 weeks ago and wasn't really productive. Marvin Jones without Kenny G. Brandon Ayuk without COVID. Dude, you're fucking
the possibilities are endless.
The possibilities are endless. How do you feel about your team? Your side of things?
Oh man. I'm still trying to win. If I got another couple wins before the end of the season, I'd be thrilled. And hey, if I get a win this week and affect your chances of making the playoffs, so be
it. I wish you could start a guy that wasn't going to play like you did last week, but you're not going to do me any favors.
Yeah, the same. I won't make the same twice.
Fool me once.
Can't get fooled again.
Can't get fooled again, baby. But yeah, man, trust me, dude. I am not like overconfident at all, dude. I really think you can fuck my season up, Mike, and it's fucking annoying the shit out of me.
Hey man, the only win I've gotten this week or this season has been against Jose, and that has definitely affected his playoff. Yeah. That has had playoff implications. So hey, if I'm gonna get another win this season,
if I'm gonna win again, I don't mind.
And I remember you almost pulled off the upset over Easy a couple of weeks ago. If it wasn't for a garbage time touchdown by Jonnu Smith, I think. Was it Jonnu Smith? You were there, dude, and that was like, that was a huge win for her, and especially the way the division's playing out. So yeah, you've been in the thick of things, dude. I think you've had the worst luck of this season for sure. So
what you're saying is I haven't been doing you any favors.
Yeah, exactly. You would fucking just barely beat over Easy and then fucking demolish me this week. You would fucking do this to me.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. I think Mike has nothing to lose. So that makes him very dangerous.
He's like an injured animal, bro. He's like an injured animal, dude. He's got one death run in him, and he can fuck up anything in his path,
Mike, at this point, Mike's happy losing. That makes him very dangerous because he doesn't care anymore. But I'll take you, Chris.
Thanks, bro.
I got you too, Chris, this week.
Oh, thanks, Mike.
Trying something new.
For the upset, I got Mike.
Oh, you fucking of all weeks, Marlon. This is the week you decided to turn on me, motherfucker.
Marlon has a quarter over here, but he also put a dime over here.
Unbelievable. Let's move on.
Okay, the next matchup is Marlon Culon Santos. So you can stab him in the back, Chris. 2-7 versus Vino Poppies 5-4. Yeah, man, Marlon, how do you feel?
I'm waving the white flag, bro. I'm waving the white flag.
Just spit on it.
Marlon, you're like me, but you just beat me by a decimal. But difference in our seasons.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm not feeling confident at all going against Jose. I mean, Josh Allen has got a juicy matchup, and
I don't know.
And the only thing that I could have going for me is that DK is probably gonna see their best defensive player all over him, and that stacked on top of, I'm hoping Claypool doesn't have like a freak game, but just looking at his lineup, dude, it's just so stacked. Michael Thomas, he's got Diggs, but I'm hoping that Diggs will have most of the attention from the defense, leaving Cole Beasley, because it'll happen every now and then where Diggs won't see that many targets, or he'll see targets, but he won't be able to get any completions. And Cole Beasley is running those little routes, so he gets them. And
Cooper Kupp against Seattle, man. Cooper Kupp against Seattle, that could be a good matchup there. Hoping he has a good bounce back game.
He's got some wrist issues, so I don't know.
And then you just picked up.
I don't know if he's gonna play.
Austin Hooper against Houston. I actually put in a waiver claim for Hooper, but you got me on that one.
That's a good pick.
What was your priority? You were pretty high on the priority, right, or no?
4.
Mitching got this guy.
4.
Outside. But yeah, Hooper against Houston again. This is a game without Odell Beckham. It's not going to be. I mean, although there is a wind cloud next to the fucking Houston game, so I don't know if it's going to be windy or what. But if it's not fucking a windstorm, I mean, I think Hooper can have a big game for you. And Kupp, obviously, I think he can have a big game. And then I don't know, man. I don't think Chase Edmonds. I think Kenyon Drake's coming back this week, right? So
I was going to get to that. It's like who you going with if Drake is back? Do you start Drake? I mean, that's a tough one, I think.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I might just. I'm not sure, man. I might just. I don't know, because Corey Davis is going up against Indy as well.
I was going to ask you about that as well. Corey Davis, or Justin Jefferson. Now that's a question mark as well, man. Like both of those guys.
I think the play's got to be Jefferson, right? Like that's a guy.
I'm kind of leaning Jefferson because he's more big play.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a tough. They're both playing great defenses. I think that Minnesota's going to have to throw the ball though, because I don't know if Dalvin Cook's not going to have a 60-point game against the Chicago D.
No.
So that's a tough one, man. I'm probably leaning Jefferson also.
Dude, does Corey Davis have a 52-point game, a 43-point game? I mean, does he have like big games like that? Because Justin Jefferson has 2 of those this season. So I think that's the kind of play that you need to make to beat a team like Vino, right? You need to play a fucking boomer plus kind of guy like that.
Well, I might just put him in just because I got nothing to lose anyway. I'm gonna lose anyway. It's all just
fucking just go for it, bro. Go for broke.
A flip of the coin. So
wild.
Marlon, I'm going to take you, dude. Jose's in my division. We have the same record. He's a spot ahead of me. I'm second. He's first. I cross my fingers that you win this game. I'm going with you, Marlon. If you start Jefferson.
Marlon, if you start Jefferson, I'm going to fucking pick you too, bro. You stab me in the back, but I'm not going to be gacho like that to you, bro. All right, I'm just going to take it out. I'm going to pick you, Marlon. Start Jefferson, and you're going to win it, bro. You're going to win it this week.
If I do that, and I'm the squander next week because I didn't put Corey Davis, it's on you guys.
Hey man, Corey Davis had a goose egg this past week.
Yeah, he did.
So
I was just purely playing. I was purely going off of the imminent threat of the Chicago defense.
Yeah. Well,
Mike, who are you picking, Mike?
You picked me, so I'll return the favor.
That's a sweet.
Underdogs got to stick together.
The I got nothing to lose crowd.
So this is hold on. This is the second time this year that the No Town Pussy plays the big cock on the block, right?
Really?
This happened a couple weeks ago or something.
I think so.
It sounds familiar. I think it happened.
That sounds familiar. Yeah. I don't remember what happened, but it sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Marlon, you can do it, dude. You can turn your season around.
Do it
turn around and around and around.
So Lone Santos currently 2-7. Vino Papi is 5-4. The next matchup is Crossfaded, who is 3-6 versus the Bangkok Ladyboys 7-2. One of the big heavy hitters in the league currently.
Man, dude, it's
projections are showing a close game,
but dude, they got Lamar Jackson scoring 28 points against New England.
Yeah, take 10 points off that right there.
I don't think that's happening. Kamara could have a big game against the Niners. Kyle Allen against Miami, though, right? I mean, or Kyle Allen, because that was just Keenan Allen. I don't know, man. That's got to be. I think that's gonna be tougher than expected. I'm not seeing it there for Crossfaded this week, man. And Ladyboys have been having a fantastic season, so it's kind of hard to pick against them. And before we move on from Crossfaded, he's starting David Johnson right now. So he might have to pivot to Melvin Gordon instead of David Johnson there. Melvin Gordon on his bench. But yeah, man, the Ladyboys are on a roll. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna pick the team that has Aaron Rodgers and Dalvin Cook and DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, that's a good rule of thumb.
I'm going with the Ladyboys.
I'm gonna have to pick the Ladyboys as well. I just this team has better matchups. I think I don't feel like I'm down and out on Crossfaded though, because like we've seen before, Crossfaded, his team can put up numbers too, man, on his day. I don't expect Lamar Jackson to go off against New England, but it's one of those games where you never know, man. This might be that week where he just rolls over a really good defense. But I think Ladyboys has better matchups. His team is stacked. He has a couple of players that I traded him, so there's a part of me with him now. So for that reason, I'm taking him.
Yeah, I'll take Ladyboys as well. Like
Nice.
you said, I mean, you got just the first three lines on his team,
Right?
are just the cream of the crop.
You can stop right there. Yeah.
Okay, so
who's next?
The last game that we're discussing is Flint Tropics 5-4, DeFornicators 4-5. Another massive game between two teams who are fighting for a playoff spot. Like we said, we've been talking about all episode long. Flint Tropics has lost CMC for probably more than 1 week. That puts him at a major disadvantage. DeFornicators, though, has Mahomes out on bye, so that's going to help Flint a little bit. So interesting matchup, dude.
Yeah, and it looks like he needs to fill the tight end spot. He doesn't have a tight end on his roster, so I don't know what he's going to do there.
Yeah, he'll pick somebody up. Just stream.
That's what he does, man. He just like picks up guys like randomly the day of, and it's like wins.
They fucking go off. Teddy Bridgewater, man. He'll probably start Teddy Bridgewater because he's got him on the bench against Tampa. I don't know if Tampa Bay is going to have 2 bad games in a row, so I don't know if he's going to stick with Teddy there. But Teddy Bridgewater is no Patrick Mahomes, man. And Patrick Mahomes the last 2 weeks has gone fucking ape shit. So it's going to be interesting to see how his team does without Patrick Mahomes leading it. I like the Brandon Cooks against Cleveland matchup. I think that's going to be a good matchup. And you know what, dude? Dude, he's got probably the best IDP in fucking football, bro. Blake Martinez got 18 fucking points last week, bro. 18 points. This dude saw. You can pencil this dude in for fucking 15 points, like from
weekend. Yeah, weekend.
He's like right there. You know what I mean? 17 points, 18 points.
It's a luxury, man. It's like caviar.
It's amazing. Yeah, the caviar. But without Patrick Mahomes, dude, I'm gonna have to go with Flint, dude. Even though he just lost Christian McCaffrey, Godwin coming back. Scary.
Yeah. This week, I think I'm gonna have to go with Flint. Also, you take away Christian McCaffrey and replace him with like a running back 2 or something. Like I think he still has the better team.
If Joe Mixon gets to start, I mean it's against the Steelers, but if Joe Mixon gets cleared and he starts, I mean that's not a bad replacement there. I mean he's no Christian McCaffrey, but Joe Mixon's been doing better this season than he did last season. So yeah, man, I'm gonna go with Flint. I'm gonna pick Flint on this one.
Same.
I'm going Flint because.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Marlon. You got it.
No, that I was just gonna see that it's definitely gonna be interesting to see how the fornicators do without Patrick Mahomes, because he definitely carries a lot of weight whenever he's in the mix.
Yeah.
But also you've got James Conner, Christian Kirk. Is he gonna go off for? Is he gonna have a huge game again against Buffalo? And yeah, but I think I'm leaning towards Flint Tropics, just because it seems like a more of a sure thing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say Flint Tropics. Also, I don't love either of their squads right now this week. I do like Terry McLaurin though this week against Detroit. And I guess James Conner can have a big game against Cincinnati, but he, like we talked about, he had a stinker of a game against Dallas.
Yeah.
So, and then I don't expect Christian Kirk to have another big game because I think he's had 2 back-to-back. I think he's going to come back down to earth a little bit. I think Hopkins is going to get more involved again. And I think Mahomes probably scores a third of his points every week. And so he doesn't have that this week. And like I said, Bridgewater against Tampa Bay, I don't like. So for that reason, I'm going with Flint Tropics as well.
Man.
Get the brooms out.
Again. Oh, man. Well, guys, this is going to be probably the most telling week of fucking fantasy football we've had so far.
Yeah.
We might have to start doing the playoff projections next week, bro, after this shit goes down.
Oh, yeah. I think we started doing it around that time last year. Right? We have the picture, we show who's in, and then we show the the guys in the hunt, and then whenever people get
I remember last year I was in the
tombstones. The tombstones.
We have the graveyard. We have the graveyard. I think currently we only have two teams there. But we'll come out with the playoff projections for next week's episodes going into the last 3 games. And so the way that works is this was week 11 is going to be the rematch from week 1. So we're going to go back to that sequence: week 1, 2, and 3, week 11, 12, and 13. That's how it's going to look. You're going to play the exact same teams all over again in that sequence. Here we go.
Chance for redemption.
Good luck, boys. Another week.
All right, guys.
See you later.
Peace.